Hello there, fellow travelers. Planning a trip to Hong Kong? Well, buckle up, because things have gotten a bit more complicated than just packing an umbrella for the occasional typhoon. You see, Hong Kong, once a beacon of freedom and a vibrant hub for global citizens, has undergone some significant changes in recent years. In 2020, the Chinese government implemented the national security law, and let's just say it's been about as welcome as a durian fruit in a crowded elevator. This law, imposed directly by Beijing, essentially criminalizes anything the Chinese government considers a threat to national security, which is about as specific as saying, you can't wear clothes that clash. We're talking secession, subversion, terrorism, and collusion with foreign forces, all very serious. But the definitions are so broad, you could drive a double-decker bus through them. This has had a chilling effect on freedom of speech, assembly, and the press in Hong Kong, making it a very different place than it was just a few years ago. Remember that time you told your friend their new haircut looked like a startled badger? Harmless banter, right? Well, in Hong Kong, such light-hearted criticism could land you in hot water if directed at the government. It's like the authorities are playing a game of Simon Says with very high stakes. So, if you're heading to Hong Kong, it's crucial to understand that the rules of the game have changed. And unfortunately, the instruction manual is written in disappearing ink. And if you thought the 2020 law was a doozy, hold on to your dim sum because there's more. In 2024, Hong Kong rolled out the Safeguarding National Security Ordinance, which is like the national security law's overzealous little sibling, adding a whole new layer of offenses to the mix. This ordinance essentially gives the authorities even broader powers to crack down on dissent and monitor activities they deem suspicious. Think of it as installing CCTV cameras in your own home. But instead of burglars, they're looking for any sign of you disagreeing with the people who installed them. Now, you might be thinking, John, I'm just a tourist who enjoys a good plate of char siu bao and a wander through the Temple Street night market. What's all this got to do with me? And that's a fair point. However, these laws aren't just aimed at Hong Kong residents. They apply to anyone within the city's borders, tourists included. That means even if you're just passing through on a layover with a suitcase full of I Heart Hong Kong t-shirts, you're still subject to these laws. Think of it this way. Imagine going to a friend's house party, but their uptight roommate has imposed a strict no loud music, no dancing, and absolutely no opinions on the wallpaper policy. You might still have a decent time, but you definitely feel a bit on edge, wouldn't you? That's kind of the vibe in Hong Kong these days. The city's still beautiful, the food is still delicious, but there's an undeniable tension in the air. Now let's talk about you, our beloved American viewers, especially those with a penchant for voicing their opinions. The national security law and its 2024 counterpart aren't shy about reaching across borders. These laws apply to foreign nationals and even actions taken outside of Hong Kong, which means that tweet you fired off about the Chinese government from the comfort of your couch in Des Moines could potentially land you in hot water if you ever set foot in Hong Kong. And let's not forget about those Facebook rants about the Hong Kong government. We all have that one relative who treats Facebook like their personal soapbox. But in this case, what you say online could have real-world consequences. It's a stark reminder that freedom of speech, a cornerstone of American democracy, isn't a universal right, and what you take for granted at home might get you into serious trouble elsewhere. So, what does this mean for your average American tourist? Well, it means being mindful of what you say, both online and offline. It means thinking twice before you share that article critical of the Chinese government, or engage in a heated political debate with your taxi driver. It means understanding that the right to free speech, so cherished in the US, is not a get-out-of-jail-free card in Hong Kong.